tune called Verde Alma by Maximo Diego Pujol. Means green soul. It's a really nice piece. This nice intro with these lush chords. And then you get this melody. The cool thing about this melody is you listen to this very simple 2 notes, F sharp to G sharp. Then does it again, F sharp to G sharp with a different harmony. It goes up to the higher, and then F sharp to G sharp again. Comes back like a refrain. And then we go back to the melody again. Restated. And then eventually we go to the subdominant A major. Then from A major to D major. There it is. What is it? Then from D major we go to G minor. Now, if you were following that, we went from E to start to A to D D major to G minor. So that's E, A, D, G. So we're going around the circle of fifths. Starting on E, going to A, going to D, and then going to G. But an unusual one because the E is major, going to A major, going to D major, but then we go to G minor. So that's an unusual twist in the usual progression. Normally we'd go back to G major again. So then he does that, right? Sequences there, and then he does this nice build up, this chromatic F augmented, and then I don't even know what these chords are. He's basically raising everything up by semitones to end on G augmented, which is very similar to a B major. If I played B major, G augmented, G augmented, B7, B major, G augmented, G. Right, very close. We have 2 notes in common with the B and the D sharp, right? So that's a good bridge to take us. Linger on that D sharp. Back to E major. Now, what he's doing here, he's elaborating the accompaniment. So the first time we hear the melody. First, I actually added some. The first time we hear the melody, it's not elaborated. It's more, well, the accompaniment is more plain. And then the second, when we hear the melody come back towards the end, heading to back to the melody now, the main melody, but transposed to A major, to the subdominant. It gives it a lot of passion and intensity. And it uses this beautiful chord to, again, it's this circle of fifths kind of thing. So you're going from an F sharp diminished chord to a B, then ending on E major. However, we get this tinge or a green soul, maybe is, you know, something bittersweet maybe. And then this beautiful scale, which is like E major, but with a flat 6, with a C natural. So if you play E major, but flatten the 6th, flatten the C, make the C natural. Another composer who does that really nicely is Barrios in the La Última Canción, the Una Limosna por el Amor de Dios, right? In E major, yeah, there it is. C major, very bittersweet. Here it is again. Flat 6. Sometimes it's natural, sometimes it's flat. Sorry, sometimes it's sharpened. Sometimes it's lowered. He does it right to the end. There again. And again, here. Chord that is. And then finally. Wow. Why don't I play that piece? I'll play that piece from the start. Una limosna por el amor de Dios, an offering for the love of God by Agustin Barrios. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat. Do you have any theory questions, harmony, analysis, any pieces you want me to talk about? I like to just go off the cuff, you know. But here is an offering for the love of God. You actually hear that, you'll hear that C natural right at the beginning. He kind of plays on it right from the beginning of the piece, right up to the end. Another beautiful piece. I spoke about the second section, right? It's in E major, very, very. I mean, I just talked about the flat 6. You know, you're in E major. Take your 6th note, E, F, G, A, B, C. Normally it's C sharp, but you lower it, flatten 6th. Very nice technique. You know, let's say you're in the key of C major, your 6th note is A. So imagine you take C, D, E, F, G, A flat. Adds this kind of bit of sweetness to the whole key, right? What do you think? Would you like me to talk through this piece or play something else or analyze something else, or got any questions? Let me know. Maybe I'll talk through it. So we're in the key of E minor to start. E minor. The chord E minor. Then we get E minor in first inversion. Then we get F sharp diminished, half diminished 7th. So we're going from the 1 chord E minor to F sharp, which is the 2 chord. Now what's special about that is that Barrios, he lingers on this G in the melody. The G doesn't belong. That's the chord. So the G does not belong to the chord. It's a passing note or a non-chord tone, which resolves. Then he goes to, what's this chord? Bonus points if you can get this one. Right, because we've got an A sharp in the chord here. And if you're a member of the Creative Classical Guitarist, I would hope you'd know this chord just by the sound of it. Right, so this is an augmented 6th chord. This is an augmented 6th chord, so it's C, F sharp, A sharp, and E. So there are 3 types. There's the Italian, German, and French. Right. The Italian would just be based on A minor, A, C, E. The German would be A, C, E, G, if we had a G in the chord, and the French would be F, A, C, E, if we have an F sharp in the chord. And in this case, it's a French augmented 6th chord. A German would sound like this. This is a French, and this is an Italian. Okay, so it's a French augmented 6th chord, and that's usually going to go to the dominant, to the 5 chord. So far we've gone 1, 2, augmented 6th, French augmented 6th, and then we're going to the 5. And then back to the 1. Back to 1. Alright, so it's like 1, 2, French augmented 6th, 5, 1. That's the progression. 1, 2, French augmented 6th chord, 5, 1, with a passing tone again, with a non-chord tone. Tension, resolution. Okay, I'll do that again. So the 1 chord in first inversion, the 2 chord with a non-chord tone, passing tone, the French augmented 6th, and the 5 chord with some passing notes to lead us to the 1 chord, back to E minor. Then we go to the something like it's actually C major, but it really feels like an A minor chord. There's another unexpected note. Wow, that ends up being a C. That's C major in first inversion with E in the bass. C, E, G. You put the E in the bass, so you're in first inversion. Then it's like a C7 chord. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, because then he goes to an F chord. Okay, wow. This is really advanced theory, actually. I didn't realize. So he's going from... We had an augmented sixth chord before. Now he's going to what's called the Neapolitan sixth. This is an F major chord. In first inversion, F, A, C. We have A in the bass, right? So there's an F major chord. It's the second degree in the scale of E minor, right? E, F sharp, but it's flattened to F natural. It's made into a major chord. It's put in first inversion. It's called the Neapolitan sixth. He preceded that with the dominant of the Neapolitan sixth, C7, C to C7 to F. That's genius. C to C7, and then F with the passing. He lingers on that G, resolves to the F, and then he brings that F down to the E, and then he starts to. He raises that F natural to F sharp, creating F sharp half diminished seventh, and then he puts the B. And then we get the resolution to the B chord, to the dominant, fully to the dominant there. So the first part was like a 1-2 French augmented sixth 5-1 progression, and then the second part of this big phrase here is a C chord, which turns into C7, which turns into F, which is called a Neapolitan sixth, and then that goes to the 5 chord. And that's also typical. The Neapolitan typically does go to the 5 chord. A Neapolitan you can also call flat 2-6. Take your second chord of the scale, flatten it, or take your second note of the scale, flatten it, and make it into a major chord. Put it into first inversion typically. So we're going from C to C7 to F, and then to the 5, and then back to the 1. Basically what's called a parallel period now. So we get the same melody that we started with, but it's going to start to vary now. So the first part of it was pretty similar to the first part of the piece, and then now we go off into a completely new period, a new section, you could say. He's kind of going off into A minor, right? He's going diminished, which turns it's a G sharp diminished chord, G sharp B D F, with an E in the bass, and then that turns into E7. E7 turns into A minor. Now he starts to change us. He's starting to get us into the key of... into the key of G, starting from here. We're going around the circle of fifths a little bit. We're going A7 to D, to G. G in second inversion, so we have D, G, B, D. We've got D in the bass. D7, this is beautiful. He goes D7, puts the G in the bass with the D7 above it, then resolves it, but not for long. Now we go to the key of B minor. There it is, B minor. We stay in B minor. Then that D natural of B minor raises up to D sharp, creating a B major chord, back to the dominant of our original key, B is the dominant of E, and that's where he's taking us to back to E. You'll hear it here, E minor. Right? E minor. Then he descends chromatically in diminished chords. Diminished to A minor. Actually, no, that's an F chord again. F. Neapolitan sixth again to flat 2, which we expect to go to the 5 chord. There it is. 5. A little progression of fifths here. B, E7A, D7G, and then another hint of a Neapolitan. Basically taking us back to the key of E, but E major. A major. C sharp minor. Five of 5, F sharp 7, F sharp 7. B7. B, back to E. Parallel period, same melody. A. Basically B chords, French augmented 6th chord again, which we heard right at the beginning. F sharp 7, F sharp dominant of 5 of 5. This is called a cadential 6/4, like that. And then he really plays on this flat 6. E major, E major, French augmented 6th again, and then it's just an E major arpeggio to finish. Alright, I hope that was valuable in some way to, I guess, study that progression. I'm not using a score or anything. Might be harder in a way to follow along, but in a way it means I have to simplify it. So if you have the score, you can be very specific and, show like all these things in notation. But when you have to try and describe it without a score, you have to kind of strip it back to a fundamental level. So let me know, are you able to follow along if I do it that way, or would you prefer to see the score? Last thing I'll do here in this live stream, I got some books recently from someone who's studying with me, Paul Brooks Horn, and these are 50 progressive pieces, opus 59 by Matteo Carcassi, and he's actually done, these are available on Amazon, and he's done this really well. So you've got this whole book, and it's a lot of pieces, 50 pieces. So he's got one version, notation only, and then he's got one, he's got one version with tablature as well as notation. So you have tablature on the bottom and notation at the top. Now I think this is a really great resource. If you want to learn to read music, if you want to get into classical guitar a little bit more, let's say you might dabble in classical a little bit and you want to get a bit more into it. This is a great resource because these pieces are really nice, they're really beautiful, but they're not too demanding, and they do progress. Let's see, the first piece. I don't know this opus very well. I know Carcassi's music quite well, especially from his method book. But this is something quite different. So if we look at the first piece in the book, Andantino Grazioso. Beautiful piece, right? It's for a serious advanced player. It's really great sight reading. It's really great. It's just fun to play. Interesting music. And if you're more of like a beginner or intermediate guitarist, it's just great music to play and study. That's the first piece in the book, and so yeah, his version has tablature in there. The one, you can get one version with tablature. I'm reading the notation one. I'm very bad with tablature actually. Let me see, what if we try another one. I'm just gonna kind of sight read something. What do we get? Some very nice range of pieces too. Maybe I'll try. Oh, what's the last piece like? Is the last piece? Oh no, it's 4 pages. I don't want to do 4 pages. Wow. Okay, let me try the second last piece. Only because it's 2 pages, I don't have to page turn. Let me give it a go. It's progressive, so this is getting a bit more advanced. Now we do have some very interesting techniques in this piece. Actually, I don't think I can't sight read that because there's some techniques like tambura and some particular types of strums. I'm not going to do that. Let's try that. Where can we go? It's 4 pages. So the pieces towards the end of the book, they start to get to like 4 pages long. That first piece I played was just 1 page. So the length, the duration is definitely increasing. Let me try. Ooh, this looks nice. Larghetto, number 31. Number 31. If you like the number 31, this might be for you. So. Yeah, very beautiful piece, huh? So I really like that kind of second section with the flowing texture. And then going back to the slower, really lyrical section again. So yeah, so I'd thoroughly recommend you check it out. I think if you go to Amazon, you should be able to find this Opus 59. Maybe I'll post a link in the chat, and then I'll later do this in the description. If we go to Amazon, let's test this out here, Amazon, and then I'll just search for Carcassi Opus 59. Should be the first. I don't think many people have probably done this. Yeah, so it's here, standard notation, tablature edition. I'll post the tablature edition. You can probably find you should be able to find the standard one if you prefer that. So I'll post make sure that's the right link. Yes. So you can grab this now. Here's the link for that in the chat, and I'll put that in the video description. Can I do that now? I think I can. Yeah, I can actually edit the description while I'm doing the live stream. I didn't know that. So yeah, thanks for joining me today. Just by the way, I'm showing these books here. This is something, this is done by Paul Brookshorn. I really recommend you check out his books, his resources, his website, his blog. He posted some really great content, and he does a great job with books. This is something we are currently focusing on in the Creative Classical Guitarist. We are focusing on how do you create a book, how do you publish a book, how do you create a PDF and put your scores together and do a preface and all those things. So that's what we're currently exploring. We actually, just after a couple of weeks doing this, we already have people starting the process. We have one person who's created a beautiful PDF version of their scores, and it's wonderful thing to see. And the cool thing about Amazon is that they drop ship. You don't have to like invest money to print your books. They take a cut. If people order the books, they will take a percentage, which goes towards shipping and printing and shipping basically. So it's a really great low barrier way of producing your own books, printing your own books, publishing. So yeah, come join us. You can get a 7-day free trial if you join the Creative Classical Guitarist. There's no lock-in or anything. You don't pay until the trial is over, until 7 days is over. So you're welcome to come roam the site and join us in our live sessions as we explore publishing and creating PDFs. We're even going into creating websites if you want to sell your scores as well, how to do that, creating covers, all those types of things that are involved in publishing a book of guitar music. So hope to see you there. Hope you can join us, and let me know if you have any questions for next time. I'll see you next time.